All right, we are here. Back once again, bang on time as well. Look at me. Ooh, ooh. Okay, mic's okay. Everything's good. Let's see if anybody pops in straight away. Never know. Thursday night, popular one. Just thinking about the classic arcade of the same period. Isn't this one's from 1979 when I was 9 or maybe 10, depending on the time. So here are some of the games. Some of these are like some of these are pinball and stuff. So you had Asteroids, which I've already created. Astro Fighter, that's a pretty good one. Let's have a quick look. Astro Fighter. Ah, yeah, this really looks like a Specky game, actually. Take it back. It's not that good. That must be a bug, right? That weird. This so looks like a Specky game. Unbelievable. I tell you, if you didn't know, you would swear that this was a Specky game, wouldn't you? I mean, look at the attribute clash and everything. Wow. That's pretty funny. This looks more like a Specky game even than this is something else, isn't it? I take it back. I'm getting it mixed up with Astro Blaster. Astro Blaster's very good. Sega, I think. This one. Oof. Look, it's fixed itself now. The scrolly. I don't know, that might be a bug in MAME, you know. Oh, does the ship sort of move forward when you so oh wow, look at that. That is the thing is, I suppose in at the time this was probably half decent because I mean at least you got colour, which colour wasn't a given at that in 1979. And yeah, hello, Steve. Yeah, well, I'm just checking out a few contemporary arcade games to see what else was in the arcade at the time. And I am astonished at how much this game looks like a Specky game. I mean, really, so much. It's it's okay. No, I haven't played this one. This one doesn't ring a bell. Ah, okay. So this is some kind of handheld or something. Okay, right. Yeah, well, forget that. No wonder I haven't heard of it. I suppose I should set it to arcade or something. Because you got all these sort of things. That looks like an arcade game, doesn't it? That's probably just that. I would bet money that that's Space Invaders. But we'll give it a go. Well, I think I might be right. Look at that. There you go. Okay. Well, I suppose one thing that's interesting about this is you've got more than one shot, which is something. It's a little bit more frantic than the regular invaders. And the controls are weird. Like the guy sort of, at the start, the guy sort of runs out. Look, I'm not. Look, no hands. Watch. Okay, move. Okay, watch. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Maybe not. You seem to sort of run out when you died. Perhaps it does. Perhaps you sort of get restored to the place where you died. I'll see. Let's have a try. Yeah. Yeah. Look, you see, no hands. I'm not impressed, really. Big track. I had a big track. I really liked it. Probably the first thing that I actually learned to code on. Bombi. Okay, 1979, Namco. Hello, Darren. Yeah, we're just chilling at the moment. We'll get into coding soon. Just having a look at a few 1979 arcade games. Were you around? Were you in the arcades in 1979? I gotta say, I mean, of course, yeah. Oh, this is a good game. Um, this isn't normally called Bomb B though, is it? This is normally called B. It's got another name. It's B something. Just a second. Let's have a look. Or perhaps there was a because I saw the Arcade Archive. He was playing it, and it was called something else. Was it GB? I think it was GB. Oh, okay. So Bombi. Ah, right. So Bombi is the sequel to GB from 1978. It's also a fun game, you know, worth a look. I think it's a bit more to it than Breakout. It's like a somewhat kind of cross between Breakout and Pinball, you know, in a way, which is not a bad combination actually. Oh, can I use the mouse? I'm not sure. See, those are like bumpers at the top, like pinball. Aye. And then you've got those. You got to hit those the Namco, I guess, like that. Oh, the controls really need to be analog. A bit fiddly. Oh, I see. You've got to hit Namco, but if you hit it again, it switches off. Oh yeah, the analog response is tough. I'm in trouble. Yeah, you just can't react with anything. Yes, I wonder if we can do something with the mouse. Analog inputs. Input. paddle analog mouse. Can I sort of move the mouse? I don't know. I don't know how to set that up, to be honest. I haven't set it up currently. So, yeah, it needs an analog. Ideally, it needs a dial, you know? I used to have one. Actually, I built a dial from I got an old Atari paddle controller and took it out, got a sort of case for it, put a hole, drilled a hole, put the paddle controller through the hole, and hooked it up. And then the bottom of that, I inside the box, I had the innards of a mouse, wheel mouse, right? And the paddle was directly connected to the wheel, the mouse. So when you turn the paddle, the XY of the mouse wheel, because in the old ball mouse you had two wheels. So when you turn the paddle, it turned the mouse. So it was just like a little arcade box with a paddle and two buttons. And you could turn it upside down as well if you wanted, left or right, and it worked really well. Worked really well. Never played this with it. I played Tempest with it a lot, Arkanoid, and a couple of other games. I actually had a cocktail table arcade with a lot of the old games in it, and so you could sort of take the bottom off this box with the mouse and put it over the top of the controller buttons in the arcade, and then hook it in. And then you could also, if you were very careful, you could use the joystick and the paddle and the button, and then you could play Mad Planets. It was just brilliant. Absolutely loved that. So anyway, that one's not bad, is it? Just look, perhaps it could be something to look at in the future. Look at a couple more. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, spinner, definitely. I think I played this one before, Cosmic Alien. Look at that, Z81.8. Okay. Yeah, nothing to write home about, is it? Although, actually, I remember this game. This game is really nasty with the bullets. They look at the way that they attack you with the bullets. It's really nasty. The style feels pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, this takes a bit of skill. Look at that. See, they really are vicious. Not in a totally unfair way though. You just got to really watch them and stay ahead of them. So although the graphics are a bit weak, 1979, yeah, I'd have put a few 10p's in, wouldn't you? I think I would. I don't know if there's any bonus for that. But yeah, they really dive at you, Let's see if we get different aliens on the second sheet, huh? Oh, a boss! Look at that. Nice. This is different color. Okay. That was great though, that boss. I mean, again, 9-year-old me would have been like, wow, look at that boss. Yes. Oh. Yeah, I was looking at the chat then, that's why I died. That's my excuse. That was good. That was alright. Played that before. You want me to put Cosmic Gorilla. Cosmic Guerrilla. I know this one as well. Oh right, yeah, this is like Space Invaders, but from the side, right? I remember this. Yeah. Also quite tough. And this looks like a specky game as well, doesn't it? See, in those days, when they first started doing color, it was like 3-bit color. So it was just red, green, or blue, or any combination of those three. So that's the reason you get the specky sort of similarity, really. Oh, this one's getting a bit close. I'm not doing bad, am I? Oh. Got no time to look at the... oh, we're in trouble. Oi, he's got a human. Let's save the humans. Oh, they're done. They're goners. Oh my god, my base. What's that thing? It's kind of Space Invaders crossed with Defender, isn't it? I suppose. That evil little sod. Wow, these two are hungry. They are hungry for human flesh. Get out. Okay. Oh, yo, don't steal my lives. Wow, that's a nice touch, isn't it? Yeah, that's a nice touch. Oh, that's a good one too. I don't want to look at loads because it'd be nice to kind of look at a few random and then come back and look at a few others, you know. Like, I wonder what the best one is. I guess Galaxian was just... Galaxian's the boss, isn't it, really? Remember the first time you saw Galaxian? Just... wow. The sound. It's just quality, isn't it? It's just this... the quality of it. Sounds of this would just like take you to another planet. The Spectrum version, this isn't bad, but it's a little bit slow. What's the balance like with my voice and the sound? Is it alright? Got to clear the sheet of the room. It's a duel to the death. There we go. Alright, earn my stripes at least. That it? Yeah. Not bad. Yeah, absolutely. That's history of gaming right there. That's like You know, there are certain points in gaming where one game almost defines the generation or the generational step from Space Invaders, and that really was it. And whatever game we play next is not going to be as good as that. Even Lunar Rescue wouldn't compete. Lunar Lander, a little bit dull. Perhaps we should end on that one. Oh, there's Sheriff. Yeah, it's a good one. Solar War. Is that Vectors? Save it. Space Gorilla. Is that the same as probably. Yeah, you just would not think of Galaxian as a game from the 1970s, would you? That says it all, really. Anyway, I might do a version of Galaxian, at some point. In fact, we could have a quick look at the official Spectrum port of Galaxian and see what we think, because I remember it being decent, but if you side by side it with the arcade, it's obviously it's just not a patch, is it? I was messing about with multicolor, when you time the raster beam, and I managed to get multicolor Galaxians running, but it was too much to have them diving and stuff. I'll show you it in a minute. It was kind of quite a cool little thing, which I might come back to it, because like I said, I wouldn't mind doing something with Galaxian if I thought I could do it, if I could improve on what already exists, if I could make like a sort of definitive version. I might come back to that, but I'll show you. Let's have a look at the Spectrum version quickly. Curiosity. Galactoids, Galactos. Right. So you had Galaxians, which was from Arctic Computing, which at the time was a very good version, given it was 1982 and it was a 16K game. You've got to give them props for what they managed. I think this is decent. I don't remember the controls. Okay, well, I found one of the controls. Okay, I found two of the controls. There we go. The sound is off. I mean, I'm dreading putting the sound on, but actually not bad. 1982. This really isn't bad, is it? Sound for a Spectrum isn't bad. A little bit slow, a little bit of colour flash, but not terrible. But they only attack in waves of 2. So okay, so you don't have the top, like the boss Galaxians, do you? They're not as aggressive. it's a little bit flickery. I mean, I'm being harsh. I just want to make the point that I think this is a really good game for 980. And if you'd bought that, you'd be happy, wouldn't you? You know, there's a few little 16K gems around, isn't there, from pre-Ultimate days. You know, people think Jetpack was the very first really good arcade game. And I suppose in some ways that's true, but you know, there's a couple of really nice ones like Phoenix. And, yeah, so this is the Atari version, and it's like the official arcade version. I suspect now Atari had a bit of a reputation for taking arcade clones, getting them taken off the market and then selling them themselves. So I don't think this is a 16K game, but it might. I can't imagine that it would be. How do I start? I don't know how to start the game. S. Duh. Yeah, it's always a good move, isn't it? S. What have we got then? Now, what do you think? Is this as good as the Arctics one? I'd say it is as good. They're a bit passive, aren't they? He was cheeky one, wasn't he? Right. Not bad, eh? Not bad, I would say. I mean, enough to sort of say, well, actually, you know what? They're pretty decent versions. Could I improve on that? Well, to be honest, and it wouldn't necessarily be from any great skill from me. If you did it on a 128K with AY sounds, and you used a few tricks to just kind of, with memory and stuff, to extra memory and stuff to kind of speed it up, then I would say yes, probably. It's not going to be a big priority, but it's certainly a possibility. The thing is, I'd like to do, just for my own interest, I'd like to do all the really kind of milestone games, you know, like Frogger, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man. I'd like to do my own version of them, just for the pleasure of understanding the challenge, you know. It's a little bit like mountains to climb or something like that. So I would do them anyway, even if there was a decent version. So so I have a bit of a list of ones that I might come back to. I was doing them in AGD. It's much too yeah. I didn't have the skills to do it in AGD. The engine's not powerful enough to do it. So you really got to do custom code. But before we get started, I'll show you a couple of things I was messing about with. So it's not a game. It's not like playable or anything. It's just a proof of concept or whatever. So I think this one. Let's have a look. I don't know if this is right or not. Let's have a look. Oh no, this is Space Invaders. Unreleased, by the way. I've never released this. And it's almost complete. In fact. But this was I was using a technique. I wrote this to test a few things. I wanted to see how many aliens I could draw in one round. You know, the original game draws the aliens in lines, right? But I'm actually drawing all of them in one block using the stack. So that's why the aliens are actually 12 pixels across. So really, it was an exercise in technique more than anything. Whether I'd come back to this or not is questionable. I mean, better when I did this, it was as good a game as you would find, but people have done better versions since, I think, more authentic, let's say. It plays a pretty good game. I don't think the alien at the end's fast enough. Anyway, that's that. Yeah, the side art's nice, isn't it? That was done by Craig, who does my usually does my tape loading screens and stuff. Yeah, it's the kind of thing, I don't know, I might bundle it. I might like bundle it with Lunar Rescue or something, you know, like a 70s classics. So I don't know if I've got anything to show you in here. That's not it. I remember what happened was that I was messing about trying to do something with Galaxian. Yeah, oh, there you go. Okay, so look, this is using multicolor engine, right? Okay, but can you see this, and it was just a test. But you see how there's a bit of corruption there on the screen, right? And the reason for that is that we're running out of raster beam, like we end up pushing the stack, and it's like a stack overflow sort of thing. But in terms of multicolor, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? You know, the aliens are actually different colors in terms of the beam. You know? But this uses the Nirvana engine actually. But I'd say that I don't know, doesn't really work. Yeah, look, it's caused a big crash. So lots of prototypes on my hard drive here, things that sometimes I'll do this just as a way of learning certain techniques and stuff, but yeah. I'll show you one more thing on this is an AGD. It's messing about. Who knows? I might come back to this eventually. What's that? Is that right? I don't know what this one is. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. It's just testing the sprite routine. Nothing. This is old stuff. Bear in mind that I'm just looking at this. This is stuff from 2019. It's like 4 years ago. So various things in here, but what about this one? Oh yeah, there you go. Look, it's kind of fun, isn't it? Doesn't do anything else, but kind of looks nice. So yeah, graphically, not bad. You know, could be something to look at. That's Galaga, of course. Another of my all-time favorites, really. I think I also like the idea of doing like mini arcade games. You know, like just using a small part of the screen because you can have a lot more going on, and you can just sort of build an arcade cab around it. I don't know if you saw the hack that I did of Pac-Man. The original, it's not a great version of Pac-Man, but someone asked me to mod it, so I did. And I don't always do what people ask, but if I like the sound of it, then I will. I'll show you that in just a second. Anything? Oh yeah, well this is just like testing. Yeah, testing tiny sprites, tiny alien sprites for like a small arcade game, but also there's a reason these things are left in it's not bad rotation, but there's a reason these things are left on the back burner, you know. So they really spark my imagination. What else? Oh, yeah, I got this version of Duck Hunt here that I was working on years ago. This is 2017. Again, I'd like to come back to this. I would do it all in. I would do it all in. No, that's no good. That's just. Whoa. Yeah, that's using Kempston mouse. Okay. What have we got there? Oh yeah, some nice graphics. Yeah. Got the graphics for it. Again, Craig did quite a lot of these. Definitely, I'd like to come back to it because it's not really a very hard game to make. I mean, compared to Lunar Rescue, it's pretty simple. And yeah, that's a bird. I'm just trying to see if I can show you the animation that we worked on. Got anything there with that? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the animations. Sure, I could dig them out. Let me sort by date and just see. What's this one? There you go. So that's a nice graphic as well. Moving the aliens and Galaga, it's actually not that difficult. It's one of those things that is once once you've kind of figure it out, it's actually quite easy. Well, I say easy, but it's not as difficult as you imagine. The main key to it is that you have the alien, and the alien has 8 rotations, and then you just tell the alien where to go, right? So if the alien is here, you tell it go to there, right? So but what you do is when you code the alien, when it works out where to go, before it goes, it turns. So it says, oh, you want me to go over there? Okay, so I need to turn around. Okay, now I can go this, and then it can go in a direction like this, which is x and y. So if it's equal to x, then it'll go this way, right? And then if x and y, the gap is equal, it'll go in this direction. But if y is a bit lower, it'll go halfway like that, and if x is higher, it'll go that way, right? So you end up with 16 possible directions depending on the relative distance of x and y to its target position. So it figures out what it needs to do, and it just turns. It's like Big Track, really. Actually, it just goes, oh, okay, you need me to go there. All right, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go there. So then it goes, right, and then it goes, oh, now I'm getting too far. I need to turn a bit and turn a bit, and it just does it automatically because it's just math, isn't it? So anyway, that's enough for today. But I have a routine for that where it's like you just give the sprite a target coordinates, and then it just does what it's told and flies. And the maths is actually pretty fast, so you don't have to worry. Not nearly as tricky as you might imagine. A lot of these things, it's about smoke and mirrors and stuff, isn't it, really? But, I'll give myself a pat on the back for figuring that out. It's always great, when you face these challenges, right? And then you try and figure out a way of solving the problem, and then you try a couple of things, and then like with AI, for example, and then like, for example, ghosts in Pac-Man or something like that. So you kind of read up on it, and it's like, yeah, you need to do this. Each ghost has a slightly different behavior, so you figure out how to do it, and then play the game. And then when the ghosts start behaving like they're supposed to, it's very satisfying, because they feel like you've sort of breathed life into them or something. But anyway, back to the grind. Let's go. It's not really a grind. I've been enjoying this, so. What are we on? Luna 1 or Luna 2? I don't remember. Let me just check. After all this time, you know what? I hadn't done a backup, and I really do advise you guys that if you do this, make sure you do a backup. Or, especially, a really good idea is, like, if you've got a mate or whatever, but for example, Andy, I'll send him the source code, and that's the best backup you can have, really, because I'll keep a backup, but it's on the same hard drive. It's not very sensible, is it? But even better is if you don't even have it on the same computer. Okay, so last time we had a particularly thorny problem. I don't know if you saw it, but it did my nut in, to be honest, for a little while, because I was coming in expecting to be doing one thing, and ended up having to solve this problem, which was, I'll explain it and why it was a problem. When you come down to land, when you get towards the bottom, the thrust there, do you see the thrust? It kicks in automatically in the game, in the arcade. However, in my version, when it's thrust, when the thrust kicks in, it's kind of the routine I wrote was baked in so that the thrust also made the player slow down. So you couldn't have the thrust with the player moving at the normal speed, because it was like, well, you're thrusting, you should be slower. It makes sense, but in the game, the thrust just kicks in and the player doesn't slow down unless the player is pressing thrust, right? So here, like, look at that, you see the thrust will fire, but it won't slow down unless I press it. So what I had to do was just, with a lot of messing about, I finally figured it out and got it so that it does actually fire automatically without slowing the player down. I must say, this room smells a little bit of cat pee and it's not very pleasant. Not enjoying it. I think we need to change our basket quite badly. Yes, hello. Just get a bit of fresh air. I'm right by the window, so just got to be careful. I don't leave a cat-sized gap with that window. Anyway, right. Give me a second. Oof. Everything about owning a cat is fun except for the pee and the poo. The poo isn't really a problem. It's that the pee is just too much. I need some of those rocks that absorb it all, I suppose. All right, well, Andy will be here soon. Right, anyway, that's what we did. And then well, yeah, Steve, you'd think it should slow down. But the other factor as well is that it doesn't use the fuel either. You know, I mean, why these things happen? It's interesting, isn't it? Because look, it was difficult for me to rework the code. The way that I'd written it meant that it was, it had to be kind of jiggery poker. It was a bit of jiggery poker. You had to kind of hack it a little bit just to make it work. I had to test the keyboard when doing the thrust on the player. Made it work, and that's fine. But the order that you sort of add things to the code can affect that. So it could be that they might have added that thrust at the end and just sort of tacked it in. Someone might at the end might have said, hey, you should just fire the thruster at the end, it'll look good, or something like that. I don't know what the design choice was, but it could well be that the order that the game was planned could have affected the reason that happens, if you see what I mean. Anyway, we were running a little test on the man. It's odd. Where's that gone? Oh, there he is. Okay, so that's our running colonist graphic. I did it in binary because I was demonstrating last night how you can shift a character across rather than pre-shift it, you can actually do it with maths, and I decided to do it that way just because it was an interesting kind of tutorial, really. And this is the routine that does it. So effectively what you're doing is shifting across into 2 bytes from 1 byte into 2, and then taking the 2 pieces and splitting them into two bytes. Rotate a single byte, split it in half, put one half and one on the other. Anyway, you can watch yesterday's episode if you want to know more. We've spent at least an hour on that, so it'll be the last hour of the stream yesterday if you're interested. So what I need here is I'm going to transfer this to transfer this over to Lunar Rescue. I'm just going to do a few labels just so, you know, these labels are much too generic, really. Skip loop. There's no way that's not, I mean, skip colonist loop. Yeah, just something that I tend to do as a habit is just have, like, with the labels, I'll just have like a keyword, right? So, and I'll put that into the labels so that so it's clear. So my keywords, for example, in Lunar Rescue so far are asteroid, colonist, mothership, player, and then I'll probably have something like alien or saucer, maybe, you know. And then all my labels will have that keyword, and then that way you don't end up with duplicate labels, and you also kind of know what they're doing. Okay, so now with this character, with this routine, again, you know, I could have done this in a different way, but I wanted to demonstrate other options for showing graphics. In this case, don't understand that message down, but never mind. You're talking to Steve. I hope he understands. So, where was I? Yeah, I just wanted to show, you know, different ways of drawing graphics, and the options that are available really depend on what actually you're doing. You know, how much speed you want, or how, you know. Generally, if things are if you need speed, you'll usually use a lot of pre-shifted stuff, and is that the routine there? Oh no, that's a, let's see, that's an old routine, I think. Yeah, okay. And whereas something like this, like all the action stops, all the asteroids freeze, the player freezes, nothing's moving. We've literally got one 8x8 sprite, in inverted commas, moving, so we can easily control that via the via this routine. So we'll go to oh, hang on. Okay, so we've got here colonist draw data and a few other bits. So we'll go colonist X. definitely O, and colonist Y, O, and then colonist XO, O, and colonist YO. Right, so this is going to be our X and Y for the running colonist, and this is going to be our previous X and Y, or old X and Y for the colonist. The reason we do that is we draw the colonist, then we move the colonist, and then we undraw the old colonist using the previous X and Y. And it can use, and because we'll use XOR, which is what the arcade does, then yes, you're getting a message about sexually explicit messages. I don't know. I don't see anything about that. The only thing that Steve has said there is mind fart, and I don't think that's sexually explicit. Certainly not in my house. Anyway, right. XY, XXO, right, that'll do. That's enough for now. And colonist. Okay, I'm just looking for okay. Here is the routine draw the colonists, right? And there is also draw a single colonist. But this is just drawing them on their platforms, right? So what we're going to have here is draw running colonists. Yes. Okay. So this routine is set for HL at 4000, which is no good. We're going to have to calculate that. So now the other thing is I also need to determine whether the colonist is going to run left or right. I could use two sprites for it, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is invert the colonist and copy it over into a buffer and draw it from there. So when you land, it will calculate which colonist, left or right, and then it will decide which one to draw. And if it's going to draw the one on the left, it will flip it so that it faces the other way, or the right. I'm not sure which, but anyway. And then we'll use that as the source, because they face that way. They face the ship and they go down and they run to the ship and they go up. Guess it's kind of determined by their position relative to the ship. So that will calculate at the point of landing, not this draw routine. Just going to integrate this first. And yeah, actually Andy's going to be along soon, so I'm going to pop to the loo, and perhaps he'll be along and we'll continue so he doesn't miss out. Right, back shortly. Okay. That, just got to top up. Okay, so really basic kind of draw routine here. We use an X and a Y to determine the position, and we draw it, and then we use an old X and an old Y to undraw it using XOR. And you know, if you do it quick enough in this case, particularly with the way that the colonist moves across there, it should look okay. It won't be perfectly timed to the raster beam like everything else, but I don't really think it matters too much in this instance with what it is, and it will be very quick anyway. And that's the symbol, so quick internationally. So anyway, draw running colonist. So what I have to do here is this is our source, right? We have to calculate screen address. So to do that, we go to, how should we start this? Drop that down to here. Now what we want is draw running colonist and undraw running colonist, right? So so we'll go load HL colonist X JR get colonist screen address. Okay. Put that in here. No, not that. So if we stay there. Label. All right. The reason for this, simply enough, is if you look here, show you in the thing, colonist X. See here, I've got colonist X and colonist Y. And then here, I've got colonist XO, colonist YO, right? So what I can do is I can point HL to here and then just get these two values. Or I can point it to here and get the old values, right? So it'll use the same routine for drawing as undrawing because it's XOR. And so to do that, you just have draw running colonist, loading up with colonist X and then jumping. And then undraw, we're just going to load HL with colonist XO. And then we just drop into the screen address. So when I call this one, it will start colonist X and then jump. And if I use this one, it will use the old address. And because like X and Y are next to each other, so I just ink HL to get the value, right? So, and then we go calculate the screen address, and we're going to use lookup table to do it. Okay, so we go load a HL, that's X, right? And we only need the screen address, we don't need the pattern, because we'll do that later. So that's X. In fact, let's keep X for later, and then ink HL, and then load a HL. In fact, can we not just go load LHL, right? Yeah. Okay. That's X and Y, and those are the only two values we need. And L is in Y, so now we can point high Y lookup. That's the high byte, all right? That's in HL. That's the high byte lookup table for the screen address. And we've set L here to be the value in HL, which we know is colonist, it will be either colonist Y or colonist old Y. And by setting that value, we then set H here. That HL is the address of the high byte for the screen address. So we just go load D with HL. Now D has high byte screen address. Then we deck H to go to the low byte lookup table. And we load E. In fact, what do we need to do here? We need to, yeah, we can load E with HR. Yeah, that's fine. And get low byte, right? And that will give us the correct row and pixel for the left side of the screen. Now we just have to account for X, and X lookup table is one page down. So we go X lookup table there. Then we load L with C. Think of the number you first thought of, which is X here. Then we just you know what we can do? We can put this in A, and then we can add HL, get final low byte, load E, A. Finally, XDE HL. Now, HL has screen address of the colonist. Okay, so that's how you use lookup tables in a really fast way to calculate a screen address. What was the thinking behind flipping colonists as opposed to separate sprites? I seem to remember Astro pause at that time. Yeah, okay. So, I could have had two separate sprites for the colonist. But if I did that, you see here where I'd have to set the source differently in the routine here. See, I'd have to change it to, I'd have to probably just store it, you know, and set it. It wouldn't be difficult. Yes, it'd just be 8 bytes. The simple answer is I'm using a buffer and I'm going to flip it into the buffer. It's, in terms of the game, it doesn't really make much sense, but in terms of demonstrating interesting techniques for coding, that's the reason. Some of the things in the game, if I can do that without compromising the game, then sometimes I will. That's the reason I'm doing it using this draw routine now, because it's fun to look at an alternative way of drawing stuff. You know, it just gives people a bit more insight, I suppose. So that's a lookup table. Pretty sure that will work. I hope it makes sense. Just to be clear, we've got the Spectrum screen memory is a little bit unusual. So we use lookup tables to make it more linear, to allow us to look at a coordinate from 0 to 255 or 0 to 191 in the case of the Y. And to get the screen address, we just look at the high byte from a 256 table, and then the low byte, and then we add the X value on, which is the lookup table is just the X coordinate in pixels divided by 8, right? So that last table is not massively necessary, but it is a little bit quicker because the tables are all next to each other in the memory, right? I mean, look, I could calculate it, work out screen address by converting pixel coordinates to a screen address. Perhaps it'd be an interesting thing to do, but I always use lookup tables, and I just don't want to do that. So my gaff, my rules. So there you go. That's a nice, efficient way of dealing with it, anyway. So that puts us in HL, and that gives us DE here. Yeah. And we can test that, right? So just see, then we've got 8 rows for the colonist, and that is our routine. And oh, here though, we've got to take this into account. Colonist X, because interesting. Yeah, because obviously colonist X is there. Okay, well, we're just gonna hack it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it like this. Colonist X. We'll just call it colonist X draw value. That will do. And we'll go here, load A 0. It's just used to calculate the shift, you see. And so in here, we'll just we've got the X value here, so okay, so we'll go load AHL, load colonist draw value +1 A, right? That's what you call self-modding code. Then load CA there. Okay. Yep, that should work. That should all be fine, I think. Yeah, I hope you can see what I've done there. You see there, this is the shift. This is where we calculate the shift. Here, colonist X draw value. And we just calculate it. I wonder actually if I could just, I suppose it would be possible to just self-mod this code even more to, because it's not like it's shifting in the middle. So I wonder. Actually, no, because there's a time when you don't need a shift here, so. One possible option would be to do the shift before the draw, right? So it's in the buffer, and then you do the shift before the draw. Could do that, but you do it. You'd be doing it every time, so it would be a bit of a. It wouldn't make it any faster. Hello, Sir Andy of Johns. I'll get you on the line. I don't hear that ringing.
Hello, mate.
No, I can hear you. All good. Yeah, just say something else.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, you're loud enough. All good. So, Darren and Steve are here if you want to say hello.
Yep. Hi, guys. How you doing?
And I don't know, it might be someone else. I don't know. Anyway, we were just going through this colonist calculation to draw the little fella. And we'll just test that now, I think.
Yeah.
We've done the shift and we've done everything else. Okay, so
Hey, bro.
oh, hello, Ro. Welcome. Yeah, welcome back. Nice to see you again. Good to know that you're well. I'm just gonna, I've got this routine, you know, update the stars, right?
Mm.
And I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna draw the colonist in there. No, actually, I could put it in here. Just put it in here. Draw running colonist. Draw running colonist. So what we should get then is like a flashing colonist at the very top of the screen, and we can just sort of experiment a little bit with it. Oh, 2 errors. What's going on? Target out of range. Label not found. Char loop. Ah, okay, that's fine. It's because I did it. I relabeled. Yep, here. Because char loop was just too generic a name, so where is it? It must be somewhere down here at the end of the. Oh, there it is. That's it. Okay, that should be 2 errors in one. Yeah, good. And execute code. There he is.
Yep.
You can see there when the mothership went past also it got redrawn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why it's not flashing though. Oh yes, I think I am actually. I don't think I've XOR'd, have I? We'll see. No, we have XOR'd. Yes, I have XOR'd. Oh. That's weird. XOR there. And then go back to the loop. That's weird. Doesn't make sense. That should be surely that should be load HLA there. Or maybe well, that shouldn't even. I don't think that should even be there. That. I don't know what that's doing there. So that all that's doing is that's the shift routine, you know. Okay, so Sorrel load HLA should be 2 bytes. Ah, there we go. Right, so it's the left byte. That's why we're not getting the flash. Because we XOR there, right. Okay, so that XOR HL was up here, and it should have been down there. I must have just drawn it in late last night, and yeah, okay. The reason it should be flashing is because it's being XOR'd, you know, on and off.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. You see? So now it's flashing, which is what we expect.
Right.
Okay, so now what we do is we'll just do a little test routine here. So we do call draw running colonist. Then we load a colonist X, load colonist OX, XO, A, load a colonist Y, load,
What is colonist XO?
it's the old value.
Okay.
Just doing a test again. Okay, so we get current value,
Hmm.
store as old value, get current Y value, and store, right?
Yeah.
Now I can go to, well, I'll do this the other way around just because it's going to be, not that it matters, but at least A is already there. So I can go inc A, load colonist X A, right? Now it's just a question of what order we do this in. Undraw running colonist, okay. So we'll remove the old one, but this is going to cause a slight problem in the sense that we're going to get the colonists will move across to the from left to right, but it'll leave one artifact of one colonist at the start because of this undraw here.
Right.
But again, you know, you fix that. You can fix that by just drawing the colonist in their start position, and then it will be undrawn, right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but we'll see what that does and see how it looks. I don't know. It might be a bit flickery. I think it's going to be all right. Just testing the speed of it now as well. Just see how if he runs every cycle, is he too fast? Is he too slow? Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely won't be too slow. It's a question of is he going to be too fast? Right? Okay, so okay, yeah, he's not getting on with the mothership, but that's all right. Doesn't look right though, does it?
No.
What's wrong with that? Okay. Well, let me do a couple of tests on this anyway. We'll see. Put him somewhere else. Hmm. We get a colonist appearing on the side when I think we did. Of course, when he runs past again, it'll undraw itself. But I think.
Mm.
Oh no. Okay. Do you think that's the speed that the arcade fella runs? I think it is.
Yeah, it looks about right.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he looks more like a musical note than a colonist at this point, but
Yeah, it does.
we'll figure that out. Let's put his Y value at I don't know, 16 or something. No, that'll be right in the mothership. 48. Let's try that and see what it does. But at the moment, it looks like the draw and the undraw, it's like overwriting it. Or something. Yeah, okay, well, we're getting that artifact there, which you would expect. And we're getting... Something's not right with the undraw. Also, it appears at the top at the beginning. It almost looks quite cool that way. It doesn't look like the arcade, but it does actually look. Yes. What is that all about? Let's put him down the bottom and just then at least we'll know where he should actually be running. And then I'll try and figure out why I'm not getting the undraw effect that I was expecting. So presumably his Y value is going to be 176. Okay. Yeah, so at the beginning, it undraws the player. That's what that top corner is.
Right.
What I can do is disable. I could put something in to disable the draw routine if it's off screen, and I can set it to be off screen. That's always a nice trick to do. Anyway, is that the right place? Oh no, it's another down, isn't it? Or is that? Oh yeah, I guess he must run right along the bottom floor, or through the spikes.
Yeah, he does.
The spikes that can kill a spaceship, but are perfectly harmless to a human.
He's a rock climber.
He's a flipping.
Trained colonist.
He's a phase shifter. He's like one of them aliens that can phase shift out of reality, so they can go through rocks. Or perhaps he's just a ghost. Anyway, mind you, putting him down there, that's not going to help me get a close look at the problem. But anyway, we'll have it. I do not know. Funny thing is, now you put him down there. I know he doesn't look right, but that is kind of all you get. You just get a jumbled.
Oh yeah, you don't see him clearly, do you?
No, not at all, really. But you know, I don't want to work with that. I wonder why. I really am not sure as to why. There's something wrong in the code. Okay, well, what we'll try is just wondering if it's something to do with that shift. I don't think so. I'm going to take out the XOR.
Okay.
Just to see. What it does. I mean, we sort of tested this yesterday and everything was fine, so I don't know. Yeah, the sprite is fine, isn't it? As you'll see in a moment.
Yeah, I wonder why it's disappearing up there, or half of it's disappearing.
Sorry?
I wonder why some of it is disappearing.
You mean with the XOR?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the way that it's being undrawn with the timer on the beam or something, you know. Actually, that's an interesting point there that just made me realize about. I think it could be the raster beam might be right down there at that point, you know.
Yeah.
And that could be the reason. So let's just restore the XOR, right? No, mind you, it was. Oh yeah, no. So right, okay, hang on. Call, draw, running, colonist here, right? Okay. So this is right at the end of the main loop, yeah. I'll take it out of there and just see if it makes a difference. If I put it in at the beginning. I don't think it will, but we'll see. You see, but if you draw it behind the beam, then you're going to end up. Yeah, well, it could be the case. I'm not 100% sure, but it might be.
Yeah.
We'll see. No, it's the same. Well, or is it? It's not exactly the same. Is it? Or is it? Hmm. I have to think about this. Um, Draw the colonist on the screen. It's got to be something to do with what I've done here. This thing here. I'll try this anyway.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Draw the new one and remove the old one. Okay, yeah, fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely fine now, isn't he?
Yep.
So I guess I was removing the old one and drawing the new one. You can actually see, yeah, that's right. Can you see there is an artifact on the far right there, far left, sorry, left corner.
Oh, where he's drawn first.
That's the first time, yeah. So you disable that. But yeah, okay, that's all good now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously I was undrawing over the top of drawing or something. But it's also smooth enough and it's not flickering or anything, so that's all good. I think let me just rewind this then and go back to where it was, just at the bottom here. And what I did is I said undraw after draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which does make sense really, because then you'll sort of draw it first and remove the previous one.
Yeah.
Whereas if you remove the previous one before you draw it, then you will end up with that issue. I'd like to say I did that deliberately just to demonstrate the potential errors that you can encounter. But I didn't. It was an F up. Is he flickery now? No, he's alright. He's just flickering against the side there. We haven't actually established if these colonists are all male or female, but anyway, that'll do. Okay, so we need to go through the steps then. So we've got a colonist that we can control now.
Yeah.
And we can actually, we can just mess about with it, mess about with them a little, just to test it. Load. Okay. Columnist line. Okay. Columnist line. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars.
What the hell?
Hey.
What's going on there?
Oh, he's going below 255, I think. That's all. I'm not gonna fix it too much because it's never gonna happen, but I will. I'll stop him from getting out of. Okay, now, Mr. Johns, why do we have 2 colonists?
Why do we have 2 colonists?
Yeah. You see? We've got half there and half there. What is causing that?
Oh, it's shifting up.
Shifting up. What does that mean, shifting up? Be clearer, boy. You need to explain yourself. It's messing with her.
It's like what you were explaining to me yesterday about as you're moving across the X boundary, but it's doing it in Y, but I don't know why it's doing it at such a distance.
Thought what you were going to
Unless,
get then. Remember, I said something about it yesterday. I mentioned something that we'd have to do if we were going to draw on any part of the screen. And it's good that we tested it because then we discovered it, right? Okay, draw running colonist, right? Let's have a look. Anyone in the chat want to say what the problem is? No, the lookup is working fine. The issue, I'll tell you where the issue is. Show you exactly where the issue is. The issue is, okay, I'll give you a clue. It's in here. So, if you're in the chat, you want to say what's the problem? Somewhere in there. It's not a screen boundary. Look closely at what's happening when I pause it, right? We only have one colonist there. There we have one colonist. I've just paused it there, right? You see on the stream, there it is. But then look, we go up 1 pixel and, oh dear.
oh,
Yeah.
hold on. Resync. Oh. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, we'll narrow it down to one line. This is the problem right here. Uh-huh. Exactly, bro. You are correct. Not necessarily one raster row below. Well, no, we are one row below, but we are in terms of in terms of Spectrum screen memory, we are not inside a character square when we're drawing it sometimes. Yeah? Do you
Right,
remember?
but why is he going up?
Oh, well, I told him to go up to test the vertical. I put deck Y. The problem is, why are we drawing twice? And the reason we're drawing twice is because here we're just using ink H. And if you ink H outside of inside the character square and you go outside of the character square, it'll go into the next segment. Yeah, so when you draw in a character square, the high byte is like this: 40, 41, 42, 4, right?
I get that. I would have expected him to be going down if you're if you're in cage, increasing H.
No, no, this is drawing, not this is not Y. The Y is deck Y. Ink H is drawing downwards.
Hmm.
It's not movement, it's drawing.
Okay.
It's a bug in the drawing. Because I'm trying to draw and then in a single character square. What I have to do is call the end line routine. Or the new line routine, whichever it is. New line? Is it end line or new line? New line, yeah. I need to call the new line routine. Here, it does an ink H. And it does a test. It's not a big routine, but you just have to test where you're drawing. So basically, we're crossing as Darren says, yes, we need a go up or go down, well, a go up or go down line routine that deals with segments. Yeah.
Hmm.
This is the one that we use. I have explained it before. This is probably the shortest one that you can use outside of using a lookup table. You know, we could use a lookup table. Actually, we do have one for calculating Y, but so what you got here is you increase H, right? I'll explain it for those that haven't seen me explain it before. So we're drawing inside a normal character square. And if we just go ink H like this, we'll draw 8 characters inside a character square, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that will be, if that's at the top of the screen, this is going to be the values of the low byte of the address. It's all zeros like this. Yeah?
Right.
That will draw in the top left corner of the screen, right? But the next line down here is not 48, because 48 is in the next segment.
Yeah.
The next line down is 4020, and this is in hex, by the way, right? That represents 32. 32 characters across. Next one down, and then 4120, 4220, right? And finally, at the end, you have right at the very bottom, you'll have 47 EO, and that'll be the bottom line of the whole of the top segment. And so if you then add so what you do to go to the next line, you add 32, right?
Right.
And then here, if you add 32 to this one, the end result is going to go, gives you a carry, right? Which means that then you have to go to 4800, new segment. Yeah?
Right.
So this routine, what this routine does, and it's nice and quick, really, I'll show you what it does, right? So it goes inc h, yeah, and it ends it with 7. And if h, if it hasn't hit 0, then we're fine and we're done. We've gone down a line and we're safe. But if we go outside of a character square, we will hit a 0. In which case, it means that the h at this point, if we're at the top of the screen, will have gone to either 48 or 50, you know, hex. Yeah? Because those in binary are going to be, those are the ones that end in 000. So at that point, we say, okay, add 32 to L, go down another, yeah?
Yeah.
And if we crossed into a new segment, then 48 is fine for H, right?
Right.
Because then we'll have 48 and the new segment, and L will have reset itself, and it's all good. And if it hasn't, then we just subtract 8 from H, because we need to go back from 48 back to 40. Yeah?
Okay.
Is that all clear? More or less?
Yeah, I think so.
You kind of have to get used to the, I mean, you know, I could spend sort of 10 or 15 minutes every stream talking about the Spectrum screen memory and how it works, and all of you would still struggle just as much as I have in the past, you know, just because it's a bit fiddly. But once you understand it, it's fine. But it's not human. It's not human friendly by any means. But it's not that mean. It's not too human unfriendly either. Not too machine unfriendly. So there we go. Oh, get into the ship. No. No, let's go and let's try and grab him. No, missed. Let's go. Let's go, Mr. Colonist. Superman. Anyway, we've got control over him now, and he's fine. Yeah, so now we need to think about how we initialize it. But good work, guys. And very well done to those of you in the chat there that figured that out. I did actually say, if you see in the stream yesterday, running empty now. I said to Andy, oh, we're going to have to change that inc h to a new line routine, because if we want him to go up, do you remember I said if we want him to climb up the platform?
What threw me was the fact that it was going up, because when I looked at it and I saw you were increasing H, I was thinking, if you're increasing H, you should be going down.
But yeah, you see, this is this routine here, right? This one.
Yeah.
It's deck. I'm decreasing. It's deck. I'm decreasing the colonist, right? Okay, so what we're going to have here is just a minute. This routine is going to be called update colonist, and so and this part we're not going to have. We're not going to do anything with that. So we'll figure this out in a minute. Move him towards the ship, right? Now, he can only move, he can't move in diagonals, so I'd have to figure that out as well. And I suppose we can just draw him straight afterwards. Yeah. Like that. That'll be fine. And then we'll have a routine here that will trigger something if we actually hit the ship, you know. Right, so take that out, and okay. Oops, excuse me. Update fuel display, update player. Okay, that's a decent enough place. Set new player X, update player Y, blah, blah, blah. This will do. We'll put him in here. There's our routine for updating the colonist. Okay, now. Look at this. This is my old plan, right? This is my old plan for game states. Set up demo, demo game loop, set up high score entry, blah, blah, blah. All these different ones. It never worked out like that at all. You know? Well, the reason is because instead of doing it that way, I had one. I used two variables, one called game state and one called player state. Yeah. So now, like the player state changes. I think there are 5 different player states during the when the asteroids are moving, right?
Yeah.
So there is like in the mothership, coming out of the mothership, got out of the mothership, doors closing, and all that sort of stuff. Different ones. So really, you just ignore that. That's all. It's not being used at all. Okay, so so this is player landed, right? And I think I made some notes on this, didn't I? Somewhere, here it is. This is the state. This is state 2, right?
Right.
Which is the state of the game in which nothing is happening except the colonist running to the ship. Okay, so we need to do this. This is before we start the routine, we need to clear the help sign, if there is one there. Figure out who needs rescue, and remove them. Set the running colonist to the correct address. Draw the colonist one time so we don't get an artifact. And then this part will be in game state 2. Colonists run down to lower level, i.e. if Y now. Okay, think about the order of this, guys, right? So if the colonist is lined up with the ship, yeah, he should go straight up, right?
Yep.
And actually, we should do that first. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the routine, it will be like this. Is colonist directly below the player? Yes, move up. All right. Okay, well actually, yeah, so if the colonist is directly below the player, the next question we ask is colonist inside the ship? Right? Okay, yes. Done. New state, new game state, right? Else, move colonist up and continue, right? If the colonist is not directly below the player, then the next question we ask is colonist on the ground, right? Yes. Sorry, no. Move him down and continue, right? And then colonist is on the ground. Move colonist towards player. Okay?
Yeah.
All makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ro. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? We're getting there. We're really in the thick of it now. So, question, Andy, for you or for the chat. Why have I chosen to check if the colonist is directly below the player first?
I don't know.
Okay, anyone in the chat? So why is it important that I check if the colonist is below the player first? I mean, there may be other ways of doing this, but the reason... Okay. Well, it's simple enough. Imagine that the player is not on the ground, right? So how are we going to know if he should move up or down if he's not on the ground? Well, the only way to know if he should move up or down is if he's lined up with the player, right? Because if he's lined up with the player, then he should move up.
Yeah.
Right? But if he's not on the ground, then he should move down.
Yeah.
Until he is on the ground, right? And then when he's on the ground, he should move left or right.
Yeah.
And then when he lines up with the player, he'll move up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But
So,
surely it doesn't matter which order you do it in, does it?
well, it kind of does, because if I well, let's say that we start with colonist let's start with the question, is the colonist on the ground? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the question would be no. And if the question was he's not on the ground, then we'd have to check if he was above or below the player. Right? I mean, we'd have to check if he was below the player. You see what I mean? I mean, well, I suppose maybe it doesn't make that much difference. Just, I was thinking, oh, well, if he's in the middle, if he's in midair, how do we know if he should be up or down? Yeah?
Well, surely, well, you know which which guy goes to which platform, right?
Yeah. I tell you, this room really smells of cat piss. It's really annoying
Right.
me. Anyway, go on.
So surely the first thing you can do then is check whether that character is above the ground plane. If it is, move it down. When it's not when it can't go down anymore because it's hit the ground plane, go in the direction that it needs to be underneath. It's just it could be the other way round, right?
Yeah, but when the player, yeah, but if you think about it, when the player starts going back up again,
Yeah.
what's to stop him from going back down again if you don't check first? If do you see what I mean? It's like you can't. It's not like it's not sequential, right? In terms
Yeah.
of it's not
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, he's going down and then you go right or left and then you go up. It's not in an order. As far as the computer's concerned, if he's in midair, it doesn't know whether he's below the player or he's at this platform. He doesn't know. It won't know.
What about the guy on the ground then?
What do you mean?
Well, the one that's on the ground that is stood at the bottom.
Um, uh, you mean when he's running?
Yeah. Well, maybe that doesn't matter.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not infallible here. I'm thinking, well, okay, you could.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it, you're right about about checking whether it's in line with the player first.
I mean, what you could do is you could set the player direction, right,
Mm-hmm.
to be going down. You'd need another variable to do that,
Yeah.
which fine, you could do it. Set player y
Yeah.
to player y velocity to +1, right? And when it, and then check if he hits the ground. And then when he hits the ground, you change player y velocity to 0, and then you move him left or right, and then he moves left or right, and then when he's moving left or right, then you check the player. But my thinking was this, right? It's fairly simple as this. If the player's in midair, right? You there?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So if the player's in midair, that means he's going to go either up or down. He can't go left or right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when should he go down? Well, he should go down if he's not lined up with the player.
Mm.
See what I mean? And he
Yeah.
should only go up if he is lined up with the player.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we check. That's why my immediate thinking was, oh well, the first thing I need to do is check if he's below the player, because that will tell me if he should go up or down.
Yeah.
But there are other ways of doing it. Yeah, you could say, for example, is the colonist on the ground, right? First.
Yeah.
But, at the beginning, I was thinking of it in terms of the beginning, right? He's at the platform, and you're thinking, okay, he's in midair. Is he below the player? No. Okay, move him down then until he gets to the bottom, right? So that's why I'm checking that first. I'm thinking from the beginning, if you imagine, so like, player is here. Sorry, that's the colonist. We'll call it C. Colonist is there. And here's the ground. Yeah?
Yeah.
And there's the player. Right? So at the start, what we do is we look at C, the colonist, and then we say, is he below the player?
Yeah.
And if he is, then his direction is going to be vertical, straight up.
Yeah.
In any circumstance, that's what it is. That will always be the case, right?
Yeah.
If he's not below the player, then we need to know, does he need to go down to the ground, right? So then if he's make him go down to the ground.
Yeah.
And if he's on the ground, we need to make him go left or right until he lines up with the player. And then if he lines up with the player, he'll go there. But yeah, I mean, okay, fair enough. You could alternatively check if he's on the ground first.
Oh, are you
right? And then you would move him left or right. And if he's not on the ground, you would then check if the player was above him, and you'd either move him up or down. Yeah.
Okay.
So you could do that. Yeah. I mean, there are different ways, but they're all much of a muchness anyway. But the main point is to know whether what I was thinking was, well, at the start, when he's on the ramp, we need to know, should we move him down or up?
Yeah.
So how do I know whether to move him down or up? Well, we need to know if he's underneath the player.
Yeah.
In which case, move him down. So that was the reason I did that.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine, so. Okay, so let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. We need to clear the help sign and remove the person that needs rescuing. Okay, so I've got, because of the timer, I don't know. Here is draw help. That's the loop for drawing help. Okay, so we've got, this determines which address it is for help, right?
Right.
And all I need to do in this instance, there's, looking at the screen there, you see the help. I just need to wipe it, don't I? I don't need to like do anything fancy. Literally just put blank stuff there. It doesn't clash with anything, does it? It doesn't. Does it clash with the asteroid? I don't think it does.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look. Let's just make sure. No, that's Fuse, and it's bloody crashed again. Stupid Fuse. I do like Fuse, but it is buggy. Right, you see the asteroid? Yeah, look, the help is one character below it, see? It's pretty funny having that guy running around like that, flying around. Okay, so help. When I was younger. Right. I'm just going to have a look at the characters of help, just to... I don't know if you remove the help when... I presume that the game does remove the help when you land. It might not. Who knows? You would think it does, because like it's sort of supposed to be him crying help, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have a quick look in the arcade just briefly and see. A reference point. We were having a look at some of the similar arcade games of the time in 1979.
Right.
And we had a look at a couple of them, like Astro. Was it called Astro Blast? Or
yeah,
and a couple of others like Space Gorilla and things like this. Gorilla as in like a guerrilla fighter, and then Galaxian was 1979, yeah.
Yeah.
And my God, it was night and day. You know, it was like. I think the help stops when the player gets down to a certain point. You see that? See, watch. He stops crying help. Oh, made it. See the help? No. It stops when you get below a certain point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it does. I don't know. That is a. Is it worth doing that? I suppose.
Yes.
But I'd have to.
Well,
You
you have
see,
to code to check for that already, don't you? Because it's the same height as the thruster comes on.
yeah, but I got to make sure that the timer. See, the routine for drawing the help and undrawing the help
Yeah.
is it depends on the clock, you know.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna quickly go and make a drink, mate.
Okay. So this is where we draw help. Challenge. So guys, the problem that we're facing here is that I use a routine with the help, which is flashing it on and off, right? So it basically alternates it using the same routine. But there's no way of knowing exactly when when the player when the exactly when the player hits that certain barrier to know whether help is on or off, right? In the game there, it just obviously there's some sort of routine drawing help, probably not using XOR, and it just says, yeah, stop doing that. But because I'm using the same routine for drawing it on and off, then I don't actually know whether it's on or off when the player, it's not possible to predict it because you don't know how slow the player went down. So what do we do? I guess we do what Andy suggested with the thrust, right? So we'll, by the way, this is another little tip for you, right? If you're out of space, you can use bookmarks with Notepad like this, and then you can flick through them. But one of the things I do is I'll just write something like this, and then I can just, if I go somewhere else, like if I go down here, then I can just press Control Z, and it'll go back to where it was. You see, like because it undoes the last thing I did. So that's just something I do sometimes. You might find it helpful. I don't know. You just write something in there to set an undo point, and then you can sort of scroll through the code and have a look and find what you want. Like we're looking for the routine that checks the thrust, I guess. Here it is, 173. I think that's the point at which no, it's sooner than that. Okay, it's something to do with here, check fuel, and then there, 140, this bit here, right? Okay, so what I can do, again, copy this, copy that little bit there, and go back to where I was, yeah, and then go load a player load a player Y, compare 140 and call carry, draw help. Okay. So that means if the player is like 120, then there'll be a carry and it'll do it. Once we get below 140, it'll stop drawing help. But that's not the only thing I need to do. Because, as I said, it'll be possible to time it where the help stops without it being undrawn, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know when to stop. You don't know if it's been switched on or off, as I explained. But if you look now, the help will stop, and we should hopefully see this, right? So it'll go, right? Okay, that time it was fine. The help was switched off. But there's no guarantee of that, I don't think. So if I try and sort of slow down like this, it might work that time. But it will, I promise you, it will cause a problem if I get down there at a point where the help is still being displayed. And I'll just have to try and see if I can make that happen to prove it. No. Oh, okay. Actually, look, I can keep going like this, can't I? So we run the test again. So it goes help, help, right? And no. Okay. I know how it seems. It seems like it doesn't, but it could happen. I'm sure that it could happen. Every time I try it, maybe it can't. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel fairly confident that it will. It will be a problem, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it isn't, but I do feel that it is. There you go, proved it. There you go. Finally. Okay. So yeah, it can stick on there, right? And the reason is because you just don't know what point in the clock cycle, the timer, the player is there. So what we'll do, though, it'll be easy to fix. We'll just clear. We'll just put some blank bits in there when the player hits that point. Just wipe it out. We'll run a quick check. It'll be easy enough to fix, I think. Okay, so sorry, I'm just looking in the folder. I'm trying to find something. Okay. Right, so this is our help. What keys do I need for that? Oh, we're on pause. Dope. Right, so here's help. Okay, so it's 1 pixel down. And 3, 4, 5. Okay. Draw help. That's Danger and help loop. We don't need 8 chars for that, do we? We need 5. I think 5 here and 51 here. Yeah, I think so. Right, I'll do that first and make sure that still works. Ah, one more character. Oh, no. No, no, no. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. We just go help chars. +1, I think. I think so. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? Okay. I'm just wondering now whether I should just check if the help is lit by just reading the screen value. I'm just slightly concerned. Okay, so didn't know you were back. I was just talking to myself. Well, talking to the chat. Slightly concerned about, like, you know, you go down here and then I need to make sure I turn the help off at that point. Actually, yeah, that'll be fine if I do that, because the player won't have got there yet. Oh, that for some reason it didn't. Oh, yeah, yeah, right. So do you see the clock, right? You see there, help isn't removed.
Yeah.
Instead, it stops flashing.
Oh.
Right? So it stops updating it, which is fine, but sometimes it stops it when the help is still there.
On. Yeah.
When it's on, yeah. So what I have to do is just wipe those pixels away. Really, I think that's the easiest thing to do. And the way I'll do that is as follows.
Weak.
Let's go. Right, load a colonist left, load L81. More than 3 colonists. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go. Take that out. Call. Check. Or get help address, right? Okay. And then we'll put that in here. Get help address. Ret NC. Load L81 and ret. Okay, so what that'll do, that's going to tell me where the help is.
Right.
It's either on the left or the right, yeah?
Yeah.
Because now I can still do that, I'll be fine. But now what I can do is we can go to here and see here, we've got load A player Y,
Hmm.
compare 140. And that's to see if we should turn on the thrust, right?
Right.
So we'll go JRNZ. No. That's no good. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the routine here. Okay, well, I tell you what, here's an interesting trick that you can do, right? Right. You know the flags, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to preserve the flags and run a routine, what you can actually do is you can push AF and then pop it here, yeah? And then what that means is that whatever you've done in between here,
Mm-hmm.
when you come out of it again, the flags will be the same as they were when you did this compare. So it allows you to run a routine
Okay.
inside there.
Right.
Right? So what I'll do is I'll go, oh, hang on though, I've got to be very careful because I'm going to call a routine. No, it's fine. Because the stack, calling a routine also uses the stack, but we'll go JRNZ, no reset help. No reset help. We are at position 140. Okay. Sorry, we're at Y coord 140. Stop calling help, right? So, well, basically remove the help. So what we do then is we call get help address, right?
Yep.
And then the player is above there, so that it'll be that the only thing that will be in there is the word help. Is something there? And a JRZ no reset help. And then here the word help is still there. We need to clear it. Yep. So we'll have to literally go like this now. It's not ideal, but you know, it'll work. Should be able to just XOR A. And there are two pixels, right? Two sets. 5. So we'll go load HL A, inc L, load HL A, inc H. Dec L, Gen Z, clear help loop. Okay. So again, you know, this is just the order I did it, and then this has thrown up a little issue that I hadn't considered when I wrote the help routine. So
Yep.
I'm just going to compensate for it. That's all. It's not a big routine, but we'll go. Let me just check that's right. Yeah, okay. So what we do is we have a look to see if oh, hang on though. That's not going to work if that's not going to work if the player's not if the player is firing, and that's not going to work. Because this is used when the player is Yeah, that's no good. Okay, well, we'll take this routine out and put it somewhere else in a second. We probably don't need this push AF anymore. Let's pop. There's the pop. There. Okay, we don't need that. You see what I mean? I suddenly realized that this routine is inside the check the fire routine. So it won't work if the player's not pressing fire. Okay, so put it somewhere else. Right, I'll take it out of there. Okay, and then what we'll do is... Okay. We'll put it in here instead. Here's draw help. And this is, well, it should really be called clear help, but all good. I'll call it clear help and I'll rename it. So we get the help address. Is something there? No. The word help is still there, so draw it and then ret. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Thought I called it undraw help. There it is. So that's just a little extra thing that's going to happen when the player is at exactly 140 pixels. It's going to check if it needs to remove the help. So we'll just wipe it, right? Hope that all makes sense, guys. All good? You guys still there? We're not doing bad for time. We should get this colonist thing working now. It's been a really good game for just throwing up not massively difficult puzzles, but, you know, quite good for tutorials, eh? Don't you think? Andy, you there?
Mm. Yeah.
Right, so here's help, right? And then it's gone. And let's just see, it should be just completely gone, right, every time now. Pretty sure it will be. Oh, you sod. Just did it, didn't it? You see, look. Damn. You know why that is? I know why that is. I know why that is. It's because in this example, we're also doing it on the clock, right? So it's possible that the player might skip past 140.
Yeah.
And
oh, I see.
okay, so we take this out. We can't put it here either because this bit. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, yeah, I suppose I'm still calling the draw help here, aren't I? So, yeah. So what we should do instead, right, we'll do this. JRZ. Okay. Okay, does that make sense? Is it 140?
Yeah.
Yes. No updates of help. No, I'm still not convinced this is going to work though. No, it's not, because it's still on checking it every other. The player could still not be at 140 when the help is updated. So that's also a bit of a schoolboy error as well. Okay, I know the best place to do it. I know what to do. Just a second. Right, clear help. Okay. See here, when we update the player, we can... Oh, you know what? Just thinking about it. Maybe we could do it as part of the routine where we land. Yeah?
Yeah.
Or maybe... I'm not sure. This is the Y coordinate after it's been updated in the player routine. But I don't... you see, the thing is, some of the things I've put in here, I'm not sure about it, because I want to use this same routine when the player's going upwards and taking off, you know.
Yeah.
So don't want to be messing about checking for that at that point either. Okay, right. We'll just put it in here. Load a player Y. Compare 140. JRNZ. Help is skip remove help. That will do. Skip remove help. Player is at Y equals 140. Let's make sure help is removed. You know, this is basically like because I want it to be the same as the arcade, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
didn't plan it. So that's why I'm having to do these little things. If this was my own game, I'd be like, sod it. We'll just turn it off when we land, or when, you know what I mean. Like when we're, yeah, when we land, we'll just stop the help, make sure it's switched off. But because I want it to look like the arcade almost exactly, then we'll have to do it that way.
Right.
In fact, yes, we can just do that, can't we? Is player Y140 then? Yes, then clear help. Player's not going to spend a lot of time at 140. Hopefully that's that problem solved. Sometimes I wonder if I'm encouraging people to code in assembly or discouraging them when they see all the little tiny fiddly things. It's very satisfying when you get it right. You know, I mean, it's like, it's an intricate process. It's like building a model ship, you know?
Yeah.
And there is a certain satisfaction to be gained from that. So look, okay, let's go. Help, help, help is off. All right, so far so good. Guess we'll just run it a few times. That looks all right. We can forget about the little this now. I think it's all good. Yep. I think it's done, isn't it?
What will happen when, or what happens in the arcade when you lift off? Do they take it the helps don't?
I don't know. We'll have to worry about that later. I don't think so, no. That'd be like a totally separate routine anyway, like the loop. The loop for that is going to be totally separate. You know? But I'm pretty sure that they don't shout help, no. I even had to do a little hack just to be sure that the help was appearing when their arms went up. You know? So anyway, it was all good in the end, and it's working now, isn't it? I've not seen the player hit. It just disappears, doesn't it?
Mm.
It's done. Yeah, this is the joys of trying to do a perfect conversion.
Yeah.
No that'll do's allowed. All right, so in we go, and let's just see, help goes off, and yellow means we've landed on that particular pad, right? So we need to know the pad because we need to know the score, yeah?
Yeah.
Adding the score is a whole other challenge. Although what we're gonna add to the score is 15, 5, 10, or 15. In fact, yeah.
Yeah.
So not as complicated as we might imagine. Okay, so I'm just thinking the maximum. What's the maximum? Oh, we'd have to check. Yeah, so well, adding 15 to a score is really easy because you either the first digit is always going to be well, the first digit is 0, right? But the next one in,
Yeah.
the score is always going to be a 5 or a 0, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or are there other scores that you can get? Oh, there's like bonuses and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah,
no.
because if you shoot the aliens, don't you get?
Yeah. Well, it's not just that, but you get time bonus as well. So that
Oh.
number could be any number. It couldn't just be a 5.
Yeah.
Or a 0. So what you do is you get the number and you add it. You add 5 to it, and then you see if it goes over 0 in the ASCII.
Yeah.
Over 9 rather. And if it is, then you reset it to 0, and then you add what's left to the next number. And in terms of adding 5, 10, or 15, I don't think you need to do any more than 1. Can you add 15 to a number and it's carry over into 3 numbers? I don't think you can you? I suppose 99 plus 15. 199 plus 15 is not going to go over to 300, is it? No. Let's see. So 199 plus 15. I'm slightly distracted here, but I'll still explain the principle just quickly while we're thinking about it, since we just fixed that anyway. So let's imagine that we've got a score like this, 9, 9, and this 0 is not used, right? Oh, do you want me to share the text? I don't think I'm sharing it with you, am I?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll do it on the screen. Well, it's better, isn't it? Ooh, right. That's the one, right? You got it? So basic principles of this, simple maths, yeah?
Yeah.
You add, so you start with this 9, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you add the score to it. In this case, it's going to be plus 15.
Yeah.
Which makes what's that? 24, right?
Oh.
And 24 is bigger than 9.
Yeah.
Which means that you, let me see, what do you do here? Yeah, so you take off, what do you do? I've got to think about this. I've got it all in the asteroids game, really. Okay, so 9 plus 15 is 24, which tells you then that what do you do here? My mind's gone blank. Okay, so what you do is you subtract, I think then, yeah, I think what you do is you subtract 10, right?
Yeah.
And that gives you 14, right? It's something like this, right? And then, so that means you need to increase this one up by 1, like that. And then this one, oh God, I can't remember now. I've got the code. It's probably better to look at it. Anyway, this is the number that you want here. That the 4, this 4 here is what you want here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want a 4 there, and then a 0 there, and a 1 there. I think. Oh, maybe what you do is, I need to remember. I think, okay, so if you want to add 15, because the problem is these are characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what you do is you go, if it's greater than 10, yeah?
Yeah.
Then, so if the number is greater than 10, you need to go across 1. Yeah?
Right.
And then you add 10 to that one, right? And so then you take that 10 off. And then you add 5 to this one. right? So 9, sorry, then you add the 5 to that one and you get 14, yeah? And then you take the 10 off that one because you've added it to the other one. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's more or less the principle. And if the score, if the number that you're adding is greater than 100, yeah? Let's say you're doing it like this and you're adding say you want to add like, say you want to add, I don't know, 340 or something, right? 342, yeah?
Okay.
So what you do is you go, okay, it's greater than 100. So you increase this one. And that carries over. And that becomes 2. And it's still greater than 100, so you do it again. And it's still greater than 100. I think, is that right? No. I think we should cross this bridge when we come to it. Let's go back to doing let's go back to what we're doing. I went down a blind alley. I've got the code in Asteroids. It's easy enough.
Okay. Right.
And I can explain how it works.
Yeah.
But it's more or less that principle. It's like if you think about like dials on a speedometer.
Yeah.
You just have to roll them basically and click them over. I just wanted to satisfy my curiosity. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is this is the routine here. It goes to the hundreds column and then it yeah, so you start with the hundreds column and you yeah, you check if what you've added is greater than 100, right? And then you increase the hundreds column. Right, okay, I think that's what you do. Yeah, you increase the hundreds column, then the tens column, and then the ones. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, all right. I mean, as I said, I don't want to get massively into this, but if we just go back one more time, right? We go 990 plus 342, right? Like this, yeah? Okay, so we go to the hundreds column, 3. 9 plus 3, 12. So that would be you'd basically add 1 to the thousands, and that's 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to 4 and you add 4 to this, and that's 3 plus 1, it's 3 there. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you add 2 to this one, and that's 5, and that's the answer. See what I mean?
Right.
Yes? No?
Yeah.
1350. 990 plus. Oh no, I didn't add the 2 at the end. Did I? Well, anyway, yeah. So you add 3 to that, and you carry over. So you subtract. You get 1. You get like that, and then it's 1290. And then you add 4 to this, and you get 13, and you add 1 to that, and then you add the 2, and there's no carry. So that's it. 1332. Yes, about right now. I think so. 1332, 990 plus 1. 990 plus 234. Oh, did I use a different? Sorry, 990 plus 342 is 1332. All right. Yeah, it is. I think. What's 990 plus 342? It's got to be 1332, hasn't it? Yeah. That's how you do it. Enough. Get back to what we're doing. I was becoming OCD then a little bit. I'm not really OCD, but I have my moments, like many of us geeks do. Yeah, we'll worry about score later. So where are we at? We've got the colonist. And we just fixed the help sign, didn't we? So we don't need to worry about clearing help. So that one's done. Hooray! Okay. Now we need to know which colonist needs rescuing. So that's fairly easy to do. Because we have a number for the platform that we landed on, right? And oh, actually, no, the colonists, it's always going to be number of colonists, and it's going to be the one from the next one from the left, isn't it? Right. From the right, like that. Always. Yeah. Okay, so we've got this colonists left. We've got this variable here, colonists left. And we've got colonist draw data here, right?
Yeah.
So these are our my stomach's rumbling because I'm fasting again now. These are our 6 colonists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a single byte that tells us where they are. Yeah. And we don't need to oh, you know what I've just thought? Do we need to make sure that the colonists drop their arms, you know?
Their arms?
Well, you know, like when the player lands, all the colonists could be up like this. Hey!
Oh shit. Probably.
Yeah.
You'll have to check.
I would say that yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's the case, you know. So we have to sort of say, all colonists, drop your arms. It's like an extra thing that we've got to think about. And again, it's just because I didn't think about it, but because otherwise they're actually in midair, you see. Oh no! Look, they're in midair there. You'll see in the arcade in a minute. Oh, you can't see.
Great.
But actually, look, I'm going to pause it and I'll show you. So it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Thank God. Look, the colonists, as it will be updated in a second, they're all in midair. Look, they're all just jumped up and frozen in midair. Even though the player's moving up, you see. So thankfully, it doesn't matter. They just freeze in whatever position they're in. Oh, thank God for that. Okay, so back to the text. Here are our colonists. And, wow, we're on 3 hours. So Okay, let's roll. This is the colonist. This is the first colonist. Yeah, he's at column 1, row 0. If row 0 is the top row of the colonists, right? And this guy is the last one here. So if we get right, I'm gonna make sure this is aligned to 8 as well, right? So that they're definitely not gonna overflow to another page or whatever. Okay, so what do we do here? We go load A, colonists left. Load C A, load A 6 sub C. I think. So if there are 6 colonists left, oh no, it's not. It's easier than that, isn't it? So this is just +1, isn't it? So the current number of colonists left can be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, right? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So literally then this is just load A, colonists left, deck A,
Yeah.
load HL, colonist draw data, add AL, load LA. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if there are 6 colonists left, then, and we start from colonist draw data, then this number will be 5. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll get this number here, 26. And that means row 0, column 26. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in fact, what I'm going to do is we've got this routine here called draw colonist. Draw colonists. Is it called or? There's a routine there called draw this colonist. Get the colonist position and then do this routine here. Get the char screen address and draw the character. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll go to, we'll get this routine here. Right. Take that out. Call get. Oh, have I already got get colonist screen address? Where is that then? Second. Ah, okay. Bloody hell. Right, so this is get running colonist screen address. That's a bloody long label, isn't it? Are you a bit distracted, Andy?
Yeah, Squeaks.
Huh?
Not Squeaks acting up a bit, and I don't
Okay.
know what she's doing.
Right, so there we go. Get running colonist screen address. Okay, where are we? Let me just rewind. Where was I? Colonist draw data. Okay. Colonist draw data is here. Okay. Oh, bollocks. I think I've lost what I just did.
I'm back.
Ah, okay. Okay. Take all of this out. And well, actually, yeah, we can just rewind. Can we rewind or? Oh no, okay. I won't rewind. We'll go to draw colonist. Here, this is draw colonist, right? And what we'll do now is that's that bit, right? So we delete that bit of code. Oh, it's right there all along. Okay, get colonist screen address. And so we get the colonist position. And then we run that routine to get the colonist screen address, which is all of that. You understand why I'm doing this?
Not really.
All right. Well, I should explain it a little bit. So we have a routine for drawing the colonists, yeah?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And that reads the colonist data to know where to print those little men with their hands going up and down like this, right?
Yeah.
So that routine is used to that part of that routine is it reads the data and it calculates where to draw that colonist, yeah?
Okay.
And that routine was kind of built into this draw colonist routine here, right? This routine here. So what I did is I took this part, which converts the colonist data into a screen address, separated it out into its own routine, called it from the original routine, but now that frees up that routine to now be called when I want to clear the colonist when they're rescued. That makes sense?
think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, look, I've got a draw colonist here, and it reads from the data, and
Yeah.
it's drawing all of them, right? But so it reads from IX, it gets the value, it converts it into a screen address, and then it loads the colonist character and draws it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, before, that routine there was actually part of, it was a full routine inside draw colonist. So what I did is I've extracted it, made it its own separate routine here,
Yeah.
which calculates that it's like a decompression, really, if you like. It's two pieces of data, the row and the column.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, look, I did it that way. I could have used 8 byte. I could have used 2 bytes with the row and a column for the colonist, but I thought it would just be interesting from a coding perspective to show how you can store something in a little bit less space.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, we see how many colonists are left, and that's going to tell us where to get the draw data from. And then we get the screen address here. Yeah.
Yep.
And then all we have to do is just go load B8, clear colonist loop, and XOR A. I should probably have a routine called clear char, you know, which literally would just clear, because I've written this loop more than once now, you know, load HLA. It doesn't really matter. So
you just give it an XY coordinate and then say clear 8.
Yeah, but this is looking up the screen address anyway, so it really isn't like to call a routine that does that. Well, it's not many bytes anyway, is it? It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bytes. So let's not worry about it. Besides which, the one I use for clearing help, it only clears 5 pixels in 5 rows instead of 8 anyway. Okay, so then we just do that, and then we go ret, and if that works, then we should be able to go just call this routine. We landed, and we know which platform. So currently I have like a border thing going on there.
Right.
I set the game state here. So help is already done, so that should clear a colonist when we land. And I think that colonist, oh, there's an error. What is it? Label not found, undraw help. Oh, what? Where's oh, it's clear help, isn't it? Oh God, how long has that been there? Have we really, maybe we didn't actually solve that problem then. I don't know. You know, I tested it. It was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Maybe I didn't even notice that there was an error.
Right.
Fingers crossed. We don't get any crashes or anything. I'm gonna have to test it though. I thought I broke it then. I actually paused it. It seems all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let it go a couple of times more. Okay, so now what should happen is that the little blue guy on the right there, he should disappear when we land. Wherever we land, he should disappear, if that works properly. Well, he got crumpled, didn't he?
He did get crumpled a little bit.
So, you know, that's a start. That's a start. Oh dear. All right. No, I mean, that's a good thing because clear colonist, right? Colonist left. We're in the right ballpark. Oh, and look, I've got ink A and it should be ink H. What a doofus. Yeah, right. That's a. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to be a serious problem because. Okay. All right. Oh, it's that weird thing.
Oh yeah.
How odd. That's very odd.
Yeah.
I don't understand that that caused a problem before, didn't it? And we didn't know,
Yeah.
and we didn't know why.
No, we had to revert it, like, didn't we, to get it back?
Yeah. Well, you know what, right? My first feeling is that it might be something to do with the stack, right? And I've noticed that I haven't set the stack in the game, which is really not a good move. Let's have a look at what the stack actually is and see if that's a problem. Right. Oh no, the stack is at 5D E2. Right, so actually no, we've got no. We actually got no no issue with that.
No.
I don't think so. There's nothing there. Gonna have to get to the bottom of this problem as to why it's doing that. I think we're gonna have to, because that is just a weird thing to happen. You know, there's something bigger at play, let's say. Because it's not the first time we've encountered that problem.
No, it's not.
In a way that I couldn't explain. And the last time I said, "Oh well, sod it. It's not broken anymore." Since it's happened again, I think we need to do something about it. All right, we're gonna have to figure.
I'm going to need to go. It's such a notice. It's 12:30.
Okay. Well, perhaps we can solve this one quick problem and then
Yeah.
knock it on the head. We won't do any more. Because it has been a long session. Yeah. 8607. Right. Okay, so you guys can see the debugger. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I mean, I am not sure what this is all about, but we'll see. So everything is dandy. We get down to here, we land on the platform. Okay, and then we hit the option, we hit the thing where it says clear the colonist.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look. And it gets the value of 1A, which is probably all right. And then we calculate the value. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh yeah, okay. Calculate the value, and then we work out the screen address. Oh and the screen address is calculated as 50BA, which sounds about right. Load B XOR A. Load HLA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and return. And I think we've returned. I think we have gone whence we came.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seem to have. So what happens next? Okay. Odd.
What the hell?
All right. Well, it's interesting. What we have to do is figure out. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save a snapshot at this point, and we'll find out where it runs astray. Okay. So it's absolutely fine at this point when it does the it undraws that player, and it's fine at that point. Perfectly happy and healthy at that point, right? And this is at 8-2 E4, which is clear colonists, and then load the game state and then jump to update the stars. Okay. And that is here, update stars. And presumably it's going to run that routine there, and then it updates the stars. Now let's see, do we get to here, 8338? Yes, we do. And do we get to here? TF. Yes, we do. So then we should return to the interrupt routine. Yeah, and that is fine. And then we're back to yeah, we're back to here, back to square one. Yeah, which is also fine. This actually happens a couple of times, right? It's updating the stars at this point. Can you see them blinking?
Yeah.
And everything is all right. But oh, it's okay at this point. It's not crashing.
Oh.
Let's just see. Yeah, look, it lands and it's not crashing.
Okay.
Okay, then. So, is it crashing because I go to, like, no, I landed on that platform, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine again. This is very odd, isn't it?
So it's just working now.
I don't know. Did the colonist disappear? I didn't notice. I'm not. Yeah, he did. How
Yeah.
odd. I can't explain that really.
Yeah, that is weird.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so maybe we can replicate it. Let me see. I'll try and land on that platform again.
Oh, it's always that platform.
I don't know. No, I didn't land on that platform before. See, now that platform was fine.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
else, something intermittent, which is the worst kind of bug.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm okay. So what I'll try and do. Okay, so I was running a debug then, but there was no error,
Uh,
and there was no error, right? What I'm going to have to try and do is try and catch it when there is, which is annoying because what I'm going to have to do is like save the snapshot. Although I can just save the snapshot. Please crash. Oh, what's going? Oh, you sod. Yeah, I mean that one's fine, and every time. So whatever it is, it's not happening at that point. Something's
yeah.
happening sooner than that. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Well, there's a weird crash there. Look.
Oh, wow.
Well, there's not much of a muchness. It's like there's something wrong with the stack or something like that. Right, look. Twice now I made it crash, and both times I didn't bloody save it. I bet you this time the bastard will work. Right. No, that did crash then, didn't it? But I didn't save it, so. Let me just see if I can just let him fall. Will it crash there? I don't know. Something is getting overwritten somewhere, but I'm not sure what. Right, please crash this time. It's oh, you sod. Can't believe I'm willing the game to crash. Come on. Oh, there's a quick save option.
Yeah, quick
Well,
loading.
it's not bloody quick because it comes up with a folder.
Yeah.
So that's not quick. I mean, that should just save the last one, shouldn't it? If you would have thought, but... Come on, crash, 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 crash. Oh. I mean, what's the point of... Oh, okay, go on. Don't believe it. This is ridiculous, isn't it? You get some of you guys still watching. This is the one of the most annoying things. I don't know. I bet I can make it. No, it didn't crash that time. I didn't. You know what I should do is I should do like RZX or something. I wonder what it is that I'm doing. Look, maybe it's something to do with thrust, right? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. See, I don't know. It's something to do with landing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because it's jumping to a new routine, right? It's jumping to a new game loop. And I didn't save it that time. Every time that I don't save it, well, no, maybe not. It's probably just bias, but it seems like when I pause it, it doesn't play ball. This is very annoying. The number of times. How many times am I going to have to try and... Oh, hang on. Maybe if I'm holding a key while I'm landing, right? You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I've got it to crash and I have actually saved it, so that's good. Now, yeah, there you go. We've got a crash now. You see?
Yeah.
So hopefully... Okay, debugger is F10. And what's going on here? We're at 8-2-E4. No, we're not. We're at 8-3-3-F. Okay. Weird. Very odd. We keep looping back. Oh, okay. No, I need to disable that one. Right. The loop is still running at this point, so... Okay, so I think we've just undrawn the colonist. We've gone back. We go to the star routine.
Yeah.
Do we get to the end of the star routine? No, we don't make it to the end of the star routine. Or do we? Oh yeah, we do. It's just a stupid debugger and okay, and then when we return, oh, it's returning to somewhere else. 8E07. Okay. 8E07 is right, so if it returns and it doesn't go back to where it should, yeah?
Yeah.
Then that is a stack problem, potentially. Okay. So, let me just check something. Okay. I think this is our IM routine, right? I think what we might need to do here is not sure. I think we need to do some push, like we need to balance, make sure that the stack is just a second. Right, I'm going to try doing this, right? When you call the interrupt routine, you kind of need to put in a whole load of stack stuff here to make sure all the registers don't get altered. I think. I mean, I'm not sure, but I that could be. That could be it. But I mean, it's more likely to be the stack is not balanced, right? If the game is returning, okay, so I'll explain to you guys what the bug is, right? We might not be able to solve it tonight. It's getting late. Andy needs to go. But when you call any routine from the processor, right, it remembers where you are on the program counter, so it knows where to return to from the call, right? In order to do that, it puts the program counter onto the stack. And then when the routine is finished, when you call ret, it then loads the value from the stack to the routine where you were, and it returns to it, right? All clear?
Yep.
But what would happen if the value on the stack was different at the end of the routine? It would return to another random address. And that's what's happening. It's like it's lost something somewhere. I don't know if what I've just done is going to fix it. But what I've just done is also best practice. No, it's still doing it. Okay. I think potentially I might know what it is. It's happening when we do the game state, right? We set the game state to 2. Then we update the stars. And then oh yeah, I can see a problem right here. You see here, there's a pop HL. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly what the problem is, right? So this, what happens is, right, up here in the main routine,
Yeah.
I draw the there's all kinds of stuff going on, but basically we draw the asteroids here, right?
Yeah.
And we store the asteroid, which asteroids we drew,
Right.
by putting it on the stack. Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the end, after this delay routine, we pop it back, and we and we update the routine, right?
Yeah.
To undraw. But what I'm doing here is I'm just jumping. I'm jumping out.
Right.
And I'm not popping HL, you see.
Right.
This one here, it's unbalanced. That's why. The reason I did that is because I didn't want the player to be undrawn.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep the player, otherwise the player would disappear. Right? So it's okay. I'm pretty certain that's the reason. And it's easy enough to fix because all we need to do is just balance the stack here. Yeah?
Yeah.
And the big clue for that was, did you see when I looked where it was jumping to?
No.
Right, because look, if we go back to here, to where it crashes, right? There.
Yeah.
Okay, now watch. If I put the debugger on, right? Come on. Stupid. Graphical glitches because of OBS, you know? Right. I can't remember now if I've got another routine in the debugger or not. Okay. So what it's doing here, it's drawing it's undrawing the colonist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's setting the game state, right?
Yeah.
Then it's jumping to the routine to undraw the stars, but the stack is not balanced.
Yeah.
Because right now, what's on the stack? Well, we'll find out because when we get to this routine here, ret,